Hi everyone, it's Walter John with 2Me Creative Media and Design coming back at you again. I actually just finished up the tutorial that you're looking at, and in creating this tutorial I realized that there's a few things that we need to go over, especially if you're just starting out. So I think I'm getting ahead of myself. So before I put out this video, I'm going to talk about something that's fundamentally and key, no pun intended, in this program as well as in After Effects and Cinema 4D. And that is keying. And what is it? How does it work? It's very powerful and it's very important for creating animations and making them look right. So let's get started. So I'm going to actually just erase what we, or just pull those things off the stage from the video that's actually already created, that's going to be after this video, but I think this is important that we go over this. So let's actually come up here and create a new title. And we're going to call it S for Superman. So, because I feel like Superman when I do these videos. So I'm going to just create a giant S on the screen here, and I'm going to make it really big, because we're going to be doing a lot with this Super S. So let me pull it here in the middle, and that is good. And now let me pull this onto our screen at the very beginning, and I'm going to put, we really don't need anything behind it, because if there's nothing underneath of it, it's automatically going to just show black. And this isn't about anything else except for creating animation. Alright, so whenever you have an asset, it could be a video, a background, a picture, a title, anything that is basically in here. These bars, it wouldn't include a sequence or anything up here. These are adjustment layers, but it would include a lot of this down here. Even the closed caption. You have the ability to actually animate these objects. So in order to do that, you have to click on it. And we're going to stretch this object out a little bit to give us some time to work with. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this for right now. So here we are. We have our S, our Super S. So what do we do with it? Well, we click on it, and you see that this dialog box comes up under Effects and Controls. Motion, opacity, and time remapping. And time remapping is if we wanted to do, well, actually we're going to go through all of them one at a time, so let's start at the very top. So our position right now, if we scrub along our timeline, nothing happens to our position because it's basically doing exactly what we told it to do. It's staying at these coordinates. So we can, though, however, whenever we want, so we're going to actually put it at 0. This is the beginning of our video. We're going to click on this little icon right here, which basically tells this asset that we're going to do something. And right now we've done nothing. So if we scrub along this timeline, nothing has happened. But let's say we want to change where this is on stage. Maybe we want to start it off stage and bring it onto the center of the stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, move this, as you can see, just by scrubbing along. You can actually key in these coordinates, but I find it easier just to scrub with your mouse and scrub them down. We're going to scrub it to -183, and then we're going to say in 10 seconds, and you can either move it up here, because this is as big as the asset is on the stage. We're going to say in 3 seconds, somewhere around 3 seconds. We don't have to be exact here. We're going to have this thing come onto stage. So we're just pops right onto the middle of the stage. And as you can see, it automatically created a keyframe. And now from this point to this point, this animation happens. Kind of cool. And we can also change our coordinates here. Now we can't see these right now, so let's see what happens when we change that. You can see it's higher and it comes in lower. Kind of cool. So it's higher, so we're going to, and the reason it's coming in low is because at this point, we're changing, this is our X and Y values. At this point, X and Y are this, but when they get here, X and Y are at these values. And you can see they both change, so it goes to the new value. So if we want this to be at a different value, we would just scrub it at this point. And you can change one or the other, it really doesn't matter. So now you see that this thing's actually going to come in and move up and down. Pretty cool. Something else we can do is to get rid of something, you just highlight it like that and delete it, or you can actually click on it and you can delete it here by actually re-hitting on the keyframe marker. You can add and delete keyframes that way as well. So something else we can do, we can click on scale. And once we click on it, obviously the scale right now is at 100%. But let's say when we get here, we want to make it bigger. I'm not big enough. My Superman symbol isn't big enough, so I'm going to make it even bigger. And as you can see, as it comes on the stage, it grows at the same time. And then it has that awkward keying that we must have put in there to move it to a different position. So, bam, bam, bam. So let's move it. Let's move it back up here. Let's get rid of both these keys. So we have basically nothing's happening. And here we're going to slide it back onto the stage. And we're going to make it bigger. And when we make it bigger, we're going to have to pull it down just a little bit. So 502 is a good coordinate. So we're going to actually come back over here and bump this down a little bit like this. So when it comes on, it seems like it's going to look like it's coming straight across the stage and grows. Kind of cool. Now, let's say I wanted something different to happen here in the middle. I wanted to change the scale again. Well, since we've already clicked on this, every time we make a change to this, as far as the numbers are concerned, it's going to create a keyframe. So, which is pretty cool. Our next one down, and you can see we have uniform scaling happen. You can actually scale just the width, so let's do that. Let's scale just the width. So here it's that, and then when we get out here, we're going to scale the width up to this. So now we have it coming out and getting wider. Kind of cool, and you can see it happening as we're doing it. We rarely ever use this. Yes, okay, we're going to get rid of that. That would only be for some unique situations. That's not something we normally would really use. And we'll go into ease in and ease out on these because sometimes you want these to ease in and ease out. But right now we're just going over how to use them. All right, so let's go back to the beginning and let's do something with rotation. So let's click on our rotation, which automatically creates a keyframe. Now, nothing happens because we haven't rotated. But let's say when we get here, we wanted to rotate 3 times. So, or almost 3 times. 2 times something. So as it comes out now, Superman rotates in. But maybe here, we don't want it to actually rotate till it's on the stage. We can create a keyframe either just by sliding. So we can put this back down to 0. And now everything will happen real quick right here. Boom, boom, boom. And the closer these are together, obviously the faster they're going to happen. So watch this when it happens. It's boom, 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 boom. So, and now down here you can see in our timeline this is all red, which means it hasn't been rendered out yet. So if we wanted to, we could hit return and render the scene, and then it would actually play a little faster. So we'll be patient here. I think it's only going to take like 30 seconds to render. So I could actually pause the video, but I'm not going to because look, wow, bam, it's done. So now it's actually going to actually do what would be like in real time. And then boom, boom, boom. See how nice and smooth that was? So cool. All right, now every time we make a change, it's going to actually change its thing because it would have to re-render it. So now the next thing down is some anchor points and stuff like that. And this is a little advanced. We don't have to worry about this right now. Anchor points would be where the anchor point is on the actual asset. So in other words, the anchor point right now is in the middle. If we move the anchor point to the side here, then it would rotate from that position and not the center position. So right now it's rotating from the center, but if we move the anchor point down here, it would rotate around the anchor point. So again, I mean, that's something cool, but something, that's somewhere down the road. Opacity. Opacity is always, by default, at 100%. Opacity is when it's 100%, you can see it 100%. The less we make it, the more invisible it becomes. So opacity is really cool. And you can see when you open up that slider, you have this sliding timeline. It gives you abilities on each one of these to open up and use the slider. To me, it's to slow me down. I just scrub on the number. So we're going to say right now, opacity at the beginning is 0. And when we get to, let's say out here, we're going to make it 100%. Let's get rid of this keyframe. Let's Command Z, because you saw I made some changes here on this keyframe. So right now it would come out, go to 100%, and then go back down to almost faded, because we actually have on this keyframe, it's at 63. So we could scrub that back up. And now this is actually kind of important as well too. If we really scrub this make this timeline big, you can see I thought I was on top of it, but I truly wasn't. So I actually now have 2 keyframes. You can see in that less than a second it would change back to almost partially invisible. And last would be speed. And this is how fast something happens, which is kind of cool. So if we want this, let's put this all back down. From here to here, to go really slow, we can actually put a keyframe here. We're going to say when it gets here, it's going to go 100%. But when it's here, we're going to change the speed on this. So let's see what happens here. See how it's slow motion, slow motion, slow motion, and then bam, it should go fast again. So it's time remapping. In other words, it's how fast everything's going between these 2 points. So it's a great way to create slow motion if you wanted some slow motion. If there's a part in your video you want to be in slow motion, this is kind of where we would do it. Another place to do it is if we have our C tool, and let's say let's bring in that video again real quick. Let's just bring in any video. It doesn't really matter. Well, click on the asset. Oops, I'm trying to drag in more than one. So we're going to bring in this piece of video here. And let's come out here to this piece of video. We can actually be right here underneath the Superman. So we're going to say from here to here, we want everything to go really slow. And I'm going to turn off the sound because I don't want to hear the sound when I'm talking. So what we could do is drag this out here, right click, and go to, should be time remapping here, speed and duration. Same thing, speed like it's set up in the thing. And we're going to make this happen really fast. In other words, it's going to be super fast. So we would say make it 300%. You're going to watch this. This will actually get closer together. See how small it is now? So that same amount of video that was going to take 20 seconds will now happen in 1/3 the time. So you can see how fast my mouse is moving on the screen up there. It's just flying. Or Command Z, Z, Z. We can go the other way. So we can go speed and duration, and we can say make this 10%. Actually, no, I don't think that's. Let's go 50%. So make it twice. This should be twice as long when we're done, and it is. So now that let's move this out of the way. Now when we look at this video, let's turn this eye off, so we can just see just the video. Now it's going to move a lot slower. Look, you can see my mouse is moving much slower because it's half the speed that it was. So, so those are the things. Let's click back up here. Oh, now if we go to video, you get additional effects. You have audio effects. So in other words, on our audio, we can control. Let's come to the beginning here. Let's turn back on our audio. We can control with a keyframe how the sound effects. So let's say right here we want the sound at 0. So we're going to put a keyframe in, and we're going to. Let's get up down here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So we have these keyframes. So I can click on this first keyframe and I can drag this down to a negative. So this way it's quiet and slowly comes into sound. Now, I forgot we have time remapping going on here, so let's change this back to 100% because that sounded just a little freaky. So now let's actually see this. Okay, this is great. Yep. So how I slowly fade in. So I'm going to exaggerate it just so you can really hear it. So. Now we've imported our assets over here into our window. So you can see how it got louder and louder. And then there's channel volume. So we can control left and right if we're doing something in stereo, which we are because you can see we have a left and right channel here. And we're going to go into sound in another video. and balance. This is something else you can work on, but this is not something for this video. This is actually all sound. So this video was strictly to show you basically how each asset, and this is our video, can be controlled by all these devices up here. So let's say I want to make this video smaller, and I want to move it up here on the stage, and I want to slide it over here, and I want to have, let me actually open this up a little bit. And I encourage you to play around with this, because the more you use this, the more you'll get used to it. But I'll just put I'll put this red background here behind it. So Walt's cooking, the original video. So Walt's cooking, it's an actual video. We're putting it behind it, and we're going to have to actually rescale it. So if I click on it, and I want to, on Walt's video, we'll scale it up to fit into the screen. Now you watch, we're going to actually play two videos at the same time. Kind of cool. So we have like a video inside a video. And then you have all the same controls where you can make stuff fade in and out, but that's not what this video is about. We can also take this video and we could rotate it so it's to the side and scale it down a little bit more. You could, if you had a TV screen back here, you could actually put it into the TV screen. That's a little more After Effects oriented, but you can, if you just want to stay in Premiere, it's a great way to do something. You could almost you could actually build a TV instead of a 4D, make the object, and actually put this video in it and put it on the counter. Kind of cool. So it's, you have as many videos as you want playing in this. You could have video inside a video inside a video inside a video. It really doesn't matter. So, but you're kind of getting the idea. So, I mean, we can, again, rotate it, and you can animate the rotation. You can animate the scale while things are going on. Big sale today! Big sale! You can do all that kind of stuff. And position, move it along, like there's a little bug in the background. I don't know. Whatever you want. Be creative. I encourage you to be creative. Have fun with this. So, now that I'm going to release this video, I'll feel better about releasing the fourth video, because I felt like I was going really fast on keying, and keying is key, again, no pun intended. If you get it down, just like layers in Photoshop, then everything makes sense. So other than that, great. I'll see you at video number 5, because 4 is done. This will be out there, and then next will be video 5, and just hold on to your seats, because God only knows what we'll be doing in video 5, but we'll be doing something. Thank you, Walter Don, again with Creative Media and Design. Have a great day. You can visit us at www.tomecreativemedia.com. Have a great day.